When I walked back into the office that day, something felt wrong. Not the kind of wrong where you can fix it with an email. The kind of wrong that leaves a taste in your mouth, metallic, bitter. Camera pans over empty desks, chairs pushed against the walls, wires dangling from where monitors used to be. My team's workspace, gone. In its place, a cold, empty patch of carpet like a missing tooth in a smile. Cut to their new office, a dim basement room with flickering fluorescent lights. I hadn't been gone more than 2 hours. Just one meeting. But in that time, my boss decided my people didn't belong up here anymore. He moved them underground, literally, so the new star employee could have our space. When I walked into that basement, the air was stale, and so were their spirits. Eyes down. Shoulders slumped. Every one of them was waiting for me to explode. But I didn't. Instead, I smiled. And I said, "Pack your bags." Pause. Slow zoom on narrator's face. He thought that meant we'd given up. He had no idea what was coming next. Fade to black. Title card. They moved my team to the basement. Big mistake. To understand why that day mattered, you have to know what came before it. I'd been leading my team for nearly 4 years. Not because I had the fanciest degree, or because I played office politics. But because I knew how to keep a group of talented, stubborn, brilliant people working together without killing each other. We weren't just a department. We were a unit. The kind of team that stayed late to help each other hit deadlines. Covered for each other when life got messy. And celebrated every win, no matter how small, like it was a championship. And our workspace? It wasn't just desks and chairs. It was ours. A bright corner of the building with sunlight in the morning. Whiteboards filled with scribbles and inside jokes. And a wall where we pinned every thank you note from clients. It was the heart of what we did. Then, he showed up. Our boss wasn't new, but lately, it felt like he was trying to reinvent himself as some kind of visionary leader. And part of that meant chasing shiny new hires like they were lottery tickets. Enter the new star employee. Fresh out of another company, impressive resume, and the charisma to charm anyone in a 5-meter radius. Within a week, they had the best laptop, the biggest monitor, and a coffee machine just for them. We joked about it at first. Then the joke started to feel less funny. Because every upgrade they got came from something we'd lost. The boss's new favorite wasn't just here to join the team. They were here to replace it. And I could feel the balance shifting. Our project budgets, trimmed. Our requests, ignored. Our contributions, mysteriously missing from reports. I'd seen this pattern before. Insecure bosses don't fire strong teams outright. They starve them, inch by inch, until they look like dead weight. And then, they cut them loose. So I started paying attention. Taking notes. Saving emails. Not because I wanted a fight, but because I knew one was coming. It started small. The kind of changes you almost ignore, until you realize they're all moving in the same direction. First, the star got the corner desk, the one with the best light and the quietest surroundings. Then came the new ergonomic chair, the double monitors, the personalized desk plant delivered by the boss himself. Meanwhile, our requests for basic supplies sat in pending for weeks. A coffee machine appeared in their workspace. We got a reminder to use the shared kitchen. It was petty. But it was also deliberate. Soon, our meeting invites stopped arriving. I'd walk past the glass conference room and see the boss, the star, and a few hand-picked favorites in deep conversation about my team's projects. When the meeting notes came out, our names were missing from the contributor list. I knew exactly what was happening. The boss was rewriting history in real time, and in his version, we didn't exist. I kept my cool on the outside. But inside, I was making moves. Whenever the star took credit for our work, I documented it. When deadlines slipped because the boss ignored our warnings, I kept the email threads. Every glitch, every delay, every misstep, I had it saved and timestamped. My team noticed. One of them asked me quietly one day, "Why aren't you fighting back?" I just smiled and said, "Because you don't swing at someone while they're still winding up. You wait until they've thrown the punch, and missed." But the real shift came 2 weeks later. Our project budget slashed by 40% overnight. When I asked why, the boss shrugged and said, "Adapt or be replaced. That's business." That's when I knew. We weren't just being pushed out. We were being buried. So, I decided, if they were going to dig the hole, I'd make sure they fell into it first. It was a Thursday. I remember because Thursdays were usually our quiet days, a chance to regroup, get the week's chaos under control before Friday's deadlines. That morning, I got an email from the boss. "Need you in an off-site client meeting. Urgent." It wasn't unusual for me to be pulled away. But something in the way it was worded, short, almost rushed, felt different. Still, I grabbed my laptop, told the team I'd be back by lunch, and left. The meeting lasted just over 2 hours. By the time I walked back into the building, I noticed people avoiding eye contact. Someone I barely knew whispered to a coworker and quickly turned away. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Hannah, one of my most reliable team members. Just 3 words. "You need to see this." The photo she sent made my stomach tighten. Our entire workspace, the desks, monitors, whiteboards, even the potted plant by the window, gone. In their place was the new star and their entourage, already setting up like they'd owned it for years. And my team? They'd been moved to the basement. A room so damp the concrete floor was stained with old water damage. One flickering fluorescent light over a row of mismatched desks. No windows. No ventilation. No respect. I walked down there slowly, every step heavier than the last. When I opened the door, they were all sitting in silence. No one typing. No one talking. Just waiting for me. Their faces told me everything. Anger, humiliation, and the unspoken question, "What now?" I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I didn't give our boss the satisfaction of seeing me break. Instead, I looked around the room, met every pair of eyes, and said 2 words that changed everything. "Pack your bags." When I said, "Pack your bags," I could see the confusion ripple through the room. Some thought I meant we're done here. Others looked like they were already mourning the jobs they'd worked so hard for. Hannah broke the silence first. Are we quitting?" I shook my head slowly. "No. We're upgrading." They didn't know that for the last 3 months. While our boss was busy polishing his star employee trophy, I'd been having quiet conversations. With recruiters, with industry contacts, with competitors who'd kill for a team like ours. I'd been careful. No one knew except me. Not because I didn't trust them, but because I needed to make sure when we moved together, fast and clean. 2 weeks ago, I got the call I'd been waiting for. A rival company, one of our biggest industry players, had an opening for an entire department. They wanted speed, precision, and experience. Everything my team already had. And they were willing to take all of us. Every single one. I looked around at my people. Sitting under that buzzing light in a basement we didn't deserve. And I saw the shift happen. Frowns turning into cautious smiles. Defeat giving way to the first spark of hope. We're not walking away empty-handed, I told them. We're walking out with everything that matters, our skills, our unity, our reputation. And when we do, this place will feel the hole we leave behind. That afternoon, I made the calls. One to the rival company, confirming we were ready. One to HR, scheduling individual, private meetings for every member of my team. I didn't tell the boss yet. Why ruin the surprise? The thing about good revenge? It's not loud. It's timed. And timing was everything. I didn't want my boss to see it coming. I wanted him to feel safe, confident even, right until the ground gave way beneath him. That Monday, I told my team to dress sharp. Not casual Friday, sharp. Job interview sharp. One by one, each of them walked into HR that day with an envelope. Not a complaint. Not a request. A resignation letter. Effective immediately. By noon, whispers had turned into a storm. HR kept calling the boss's office. He wasn't picking up. By 2 p.m., it hit him. I know because he came storming into the basement, his new office annex, with that smug expression cracked right down the middle. What the hell is going on? He demanded. I didn't look up from my laptop. Just adapting, like you said. Behind me, my team was already packing. Monitors into boxes. Personal mugs and desk plants carefully wrapped. He tried bargaining. He tried threatening. But the truth was, he had nothing to hold over us. No one could replace us fast enough. And every project in flight? It was built on processes only we knew how to run. By the time we carried the last box out, the rival company's shuttle was waiting for us at the curb. They'd sent a van, big enough for all of us, our equipment, and even the potted plant from our old sunny corner. We didn't look back when the doors closed. We didn't need to. We could already feel the panic setting in behind us. If you've never watched a company unravel from the outside, let me tell you. It's not like the movies. There's no single dramatic explosion. It's quieter. Messier. Like a sweater snagged on a nail, unraveling thread by thread until all that's left is a heap of useless yarn. We left on a Monday afternoon. By Tuesday morning, my phone was already buzzing. The first message was from a friend in accounting. What did you do? The boss is losing it. Turns out, our absence wasn't just inconvenient, it was catastrophic. Half the projects on the active roster were being run directly by my team. The rest were supported by systems we'd built, maintained, and guarded with the kind of documentation only we knew how to interpret. And that new star employee? They weren't the savior the boss thought they were. They were a specialist, good at one thing, sure, but completely lost outside their lane. By Wednesday, deadlines started slipping. Client emails piled up unanswered. And in one glorious twist of karma, the star made a major error in a client proposal. The kind of mistake my team would have caught in 5 minutes. That proposal went straight to the client without review. The client spotted it instantly and pulled their contract. That was a $2.8 million account. Gone. I didn't have to lift a finger. Every failure was theirs alone. The result of pushing out the people who actually knew how things worked. But the beauty of it? This wasn't a quick collapse. It was a slow bleed. And that meant every day, my old boss had to sit in that office and watch it happen. On Thursday, HR started calling around the industry, trying to replace us. Word travels fast. Nobody wanted the job. Nobody wanted him. The star stopped making eye contact in the halls. Rumor had it they were looking for another position. Any position, to get away from the sinking ship. By Friday, the investors got involved. Weekly reports didn't just show missed deadlines, they showed hemorrhaging revenue, angry clients, and stalled growth. And there was my boss, trying to explain why he'd gutted his most productive department to give one employee a better view out the window. Meanwhile, we were thriving. The rival company didn't just give us desks, they gave us space. A bright floor with natural light, brand new equipment, and a budget that didn't require begging for printer paper. My team's first week there, we closed a project 3 days early. The client sent champagne. The CEO sent a thank you email, personally. And for the first time in months, I saw my people laughing without that undercurrent of stress. Still, I kept my ear to the ground. Every whisper from my old workplace was a little piece of satisfaction I tucked away like a trophy. 3 weeks after we left, another client bailed. This one wasn't just valuable, they were vocal. They posted a thinly veiled LinkedIn rant about companies who don't value their real talent. It got hundreds of likes, and several shares from people inside the industry. By the end of the month, the star was gone. No notice. No farewell email. Just vanished, leaving behind a trail of unfinished work and unanswered questions. Narrator. The final blow came 6 weeks later. I was in the new office, mid-meeting, when I got a text from that same accounting friend. He's out. The investors had called an emergency meeting. My boss walked in as the leader of the company. And walked out with a cardboard box. They didn't even let him do the fake, stepping down to pursue new opportunities, post. He was just gone. I'll admit. I poured myself an extra coffee that morning and took it out onto the balcony. Just to enjoy the sunshine we'd been denied in that basement. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe in revenge for revenge's sake. If you live your life waiting to get even, you spend too much time looking back. But sometimes people mistake kindness for weakness. They think because you don't shout, you won't act. Because you don't fight dirty, you won't fight at all. And when they make that mistake, the best thing you can do is let them. Let them underestimate you. Let them make their moves. Let them dig their own hole. Then step aside and watch them fall in. Months later, I ran into a former coworker from the old place. We were both grabbing coffee, and they spotted me from across the cafe. They told me the company never really recovered. Client trust was gone. The new hires couldn't fill the gap. And the basement? Still empty. I smiled. Not because they failed, but because we didn't. We'd walked away stronger. Together. And in the light where we belonged. They moved us to the basement, I said. So I moved them to the bottom.